Guys, this is Serge, Fine Designs. This is a quick video about how to use our Cricut Machine to put individual names, personal names on merchandise of your customer. Let's jump right into it. So you're all gonna get the sheet into your logo bin. This is basically the sheet that signifies that we do these personal individual names. So you want to put this as close as you can to your heat press where your prices are in the back of your heat press. You put it right next to you, either on the grid wall, or either if you have a space on the table, put it on the table. And what I also like to do is on top of this sheet, I always ask my customer right away as soon as they come up, would you like to get the main logo? Yes. Would you like to do individual personal names? If they say yes, you can get started on that right away because it takes a little bit longer than everything else. So you want to get started on that first. Yeah. So another thing is we have long name. So usually the individual names go on the back, across the back. We also have a small option. So the small option would go on the sleeve this way. So usually how it is the horizontal way, but you can also put the individual name vertical way. So you want to ask that which way would you like to put it, and obviously you kind of want to upsell. You say, hey, would you like it on the sleeve or on the back? If they say back, it's automatically $12 additional on the back. If they say on the sleeve, you ask, would you like it small across the shoulder blade, or you want it long down the sleeve, and you kind of want to upsell that option for the better because you want to reach the bonus and get the $12 upsell. So let's jump right into it. Sorry for the long introduction, very important. Now let's jump right into the machine. So you hit the power button right here. This is the Cricut Machine. You hit the open. So very important, make sure that this option with a little selection is on the light cardstock. So make sure if it's twisted the other way, you put it right in the middle there, and that machine is all set. So here you come over here, you go to your iPad, just like setting up your square device. You click on Bluetooth, and make sure it's on. Click on Bluetooth, and then it should be searching here, and then you would click that. But since we already had it connected, you just the circuit would be here, and it would ask you if you'd like to put in a passcode. And the passcode is quadruple zero. So 4 zeros is the passcode always for all of them. Okay, so very easy. You hit that, put in the passcode, and then it's gonna say connected right here. Your machine is connected, so you're gonna exit out of that. You're gonna go to you start by taking care of your orders, and they say, hey, I would like to get an individual name on the back. You say okay. So you hit that. That's the $12 one. So that's the additional, and then you go to your. How do you do that? You go to this application right here, right by the square. You have this Cricut application. So you click on that. You're gonna click New Project, and you're gonna make sure. So if you can come closer over here, if you guys can see, I'm not sure if you can see. You got the ruler all the way over here, coming all the way across. So you want to keep it under 10 inches. Okay, so 10 inches. So you got 0, 4. 8, 12. So what you want to do is you want to zoom in with 2 fingers, just zoom in, and then to move the screen you have to do with 2 fingers simultaneously. So you press it on the screen and you drag the whole screen up and down. Right and down. That way it shifts. So my 10 is right here. I kind of like to keep it a little bit closer to the edge so that I see how much room I have to work with. So I'm gonna zoom in a little bit more and then drag it right away. Okay, so if you can zoom in over here, so if you can see my 10 is right there, that is my limit. So I know that if I am closer to the edge of the iPad, I am good with my limit. Okay, and also I need to, so if you can see I'm moving it with 2 fingers up and down. So you always want to see zeros over here in this corner. So and my limit down is 2 inches always. So if you can just zoom out. So if you're doing a little name on the side of the sleeve, it's always 2 inches by 4 inches. If it's a long one, either down the sleeve or in the back, it's 2 inches by 10 inches. Obviously, if you have like a youth medium or you know, a youth large, you have a smaller sleeve. So you can cut it down 2 inches by 8 inches, let's say, so that you have a little bit more room to work with, because the sleeves are so short. 10 inches it's kind of long for a youth medium or youth small, youth large. So, you know, but usually the goal is 10 inches is the maximum, and you don't want to go over 2 inches in the up and down. Okay, so what you're gonna do is that this is just to begin, and this is your work table for the rest of the day. So you do this once and you never have to touch it again. So what you're gonna do now is you're gonna hit canvas right here, and you hit text. Okay, after you hit text, you hit system, let it load, and you're gonna search the font. You're gonna search it for USA. So right now our font is USA, but we might change it to Fine Designs. It's pretty similar process. So you hit USA, you click on that font, and then you do you make sure it's always cap locks. Always. If it's not cap locks, you're gonna mess up the name. So the name has to be cap locks. So this is your process. You go 0. You make sure you see your bottom. You make sure you see your 10 inches. So this is how you begin with every customer. I just gave you a base information, kind of how you do what you do in the beginning of the day, but this is the process what you do with every customer. You hit text, you hit system, USA, double tap on the full screen, on the cap locks, and you give it to your customer. Very important when they're about to do a name, never do names on your own. So let's say even if they say Nick, don't do it. Okay, give your customer to put in the name, because even if I don't know, whatever, but if the name is spelled differently than what you think, as simple as that might be, you will be the one to blame, and they will you know, they can come back and say, hey, I want to return my shirt, or you messed up my name. But if they put it in themselves, all the blame is on the customer, basically. Well, in the basic terms, you don't blame anybody, but that's how it works. So you flip the iPad to your customer, and then let them do the work. So they're gonna put in a name, whichever name is theirs. Okay, the name is Bob. Okay, thank you so much. So what you do is you come over here, you put the keep it down, and you take the name and you put it all the way in the corner with one finger. So now, as you remember, our limit is either 2 or 10, whichever comes first. Okay, very important. Whichever comes first. So you're gonna take that corner and you gotta drag it out. You gotta drag it out, whichever comes first. So you got the 2 right here. Oh, 2 hit. I'm only at 5 inches, but it doesn't matter. Since the 2 hit, this is my name. So even in the back, this is how you're gonna do it. So since the name is so short, 3 letters, usually, you know, it's a very rarity that the name is so short, or with the last name, it's usually a lot longer, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 letters, whatever. So your limit's, you know, either 10 or 2, very important, whichever comes first. So after that, what you're gonna do is you're gonna hit make it, continue. So we're kind of done with the iPad for now. So this is what you're gonna do with your sheet. So you have this sheet that is a sticky pad, okay? So it is this cover is basically to protect the sticky pad of the sticky sheet. So you want to take that off, but you don't want to throw it away, because you want to put it back after you're done. Because if you don't put it back, the stickiness and the adhesive is going to dry up, and the sheet's going to be no good. So you take it off. Your bottom is still there. We cut it in half, so your bottom is still covered. So that way, if you touch accidentally to your shirt, which is cotton, you don't want a bunch of junk on here, because you only want paper to be attached to this thing. So you're going to take that. You're going to take this sheet. You're gonna have 3 different sheets, actually. Let's say 5 different sheets, but usually it's 3. So you have your ink. You have your white ink. These are for the long names. Sorry, where's the white ink here? This is for your long names. You can tell it has ink, okay? The other side, obviously, just white. This is black ink, and these little ones are for the little names. So for the sleeve names, I'm sorry. So for the sides, you use the little ones, okay? For the back, you use the big ones. So if it's a black shirt, obviously you use the white ink. If it's a every other color shirt, you use the black ink. So what are you gonna and then the third sheet is you have just a plain piece of paper. It's a special piece of paper. One side is not shiny, it's just a regular paper. The other side is shiny. So this is very, very important. If you don't do this right, you're gonna mess the whole thing up. So you take this sheet that is shiny side and you put it down, okay? So shiny side down, and the goal is you want to keep it close to this line. So I just go right at that line, and then I either cover all the numbers or I just cover half of those numbers. So you just put it right over the numbers, like just like that, okay? Kind of straighten it out, and you just go over with your hand so that it sticks to the pad, okay? After you're done with that, you're gonna, if you can come closer over here, you're gonna insert this sheet in here. So you got these little flaps, you put it right under it, and with your hand, you want to kind of give it a little bit of push, just so that it has a little bit of resistance. You don't want to just leave it there and press it, because, you know, if it's crooked, anything's wrong, it's not going to work. So you take it just with your hand, and you kind of just shove it a little bit. You don't have to do super hard, but just so that you feel the tension, and you're going to press this little arrow. It's actually telling you to, hey, feed the paper. And if you forget, the iPad's going to tell you, please load the cardstock, load tools and mat. So, and then press this arrow. So you do with your hand, you give a little push, you press the button, it loads, okay? So after that, you're gonna come over here, and before pressing go, it's telling you to press go. Before pressing go, you wanna absolutely select this option right here, the fast mode. If you do not select this option, it's gonna go twice as slower. You want to select this mode, absolutely. If you forget, it's okay, but always select this mode. You press that. After you load it, you press this button, and then you come over here and you press this this button that is flashing. It's the Cricut mode. So you press the button, and it's gonna read the it's gonna send over the project from the iPad. It's sending over the project to the iPad, to the machine through Bluetooth, and it's starting to cut the name. Okay, so the name is being cut. While it's being cut, you take care of your customer. So this is very important why you want to do this very first. So, you know, they pick a size, color, style. Okay, what would you like the main logo? Yes. As soon as they get the main logo on, you want to put this either on the back or on the sleeve, because you know, obviously it's much easier to do this in the beginning than to put, let's say, a roster in the back, or you put a generic logo in the back, and then you put the names after. It's much harder. Oh, I need to make a room, or, and then you also lose time, because you know you're doing the names after your shirt is already done. So you want to ask, hey, would you like the names? Yes. You do the names. You start on the names, and then so let's say, you know, I'm taking care of a customer. It's the names are being printed. So in this moment, not to lose time. Okay, would you like anything on the other sleeve, since the back is already taken? Would you like to do a roster under the name? If they say yes, you wait for the name and then you put a roster under. But you want to take care of everything else, not to lose time. And then in the meanwhile, cash them out. Cash your customer out. So let's come over here. So as soon as the names are done, my shirt is already finished. It's already done. So I got this light stock. It's not letting go. So it's telling me, hey, it's done. I'm sorry. Let me do this. Your iPad's gonna say your cut has been complete. It has completed. So even if you're in a Square app or in this application, it's gonna let you know. It's gonna pop up. So you're gonna come over here and you're gonna let it, you know, ask the machine to let the sheet go. So you have to press the button. You let it go. And this is how I like to do it. You can either do it from the side, or I like to take the whole sheet. How I just go against the table with my knees or with my legs. And this is why it's very important to keep this side covered, because you know the stickiness is gonna, you know, you're gonna collect all the lint and all the junk from your stuff onto the sheet. You don't want to do that. So I literally just take the whole sheet and I kind of just like slant it on the side, just like that, and I just pick it up. Just like that, just like that. And just pick it up. Or you can do it another way. You can just do it corner by corner. But very important, make sure when you do it corner by corner, when you get to the third, fourth, fifth letter, you want to make sure you shift your fingers. So if I'm here, right, these lines are so tiny, it's a piece of paper, it's gonna rip really easy. So I want to shift closer and closer and closer as I go. I just shift my fingers and I go up, 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 just like that. Okay. All right. So I have the name here. I'm gonna take my shirt. It's going in the back. I'm gonna just align it so that it's nice and straight. I'm gonna take Bob. So usually what you do is you take the piece of paper and you align it, right? But because the name is so little, you wanna make sure you align only the name. So if it has 4 letters, you're in between the 2 letters, that's your middle. So since it has 3 letters, my middle is the O, okay? So this is my middle, right here. That's my middle. And because even though it's a big name in the back for $12, what I do is I only take the little one, okay? I only take the little piece of paper because it only has 3 letters. I don't need to waste so much ink and all this excess. I just take the little one. And actually what you can do is you can just press it down a little bit to straighten the paper. Now it's nice and straight, okay? And realign it just in case, but this is much easier. So what you do is you take this ink, and as you can see, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, one side has a lot more spacing. So this side doesn't have any ink. This side has ink all the way to the edge of the paper. So it's very important when you do that, I literally just go right to the light and I check. So as I can see, this side has all the ink, this side has no ink. Let's flip it this way, that'll be easier to explain. So this side has no ink. So when I do it, I make sure I see my ink starts right here. So when I come over here to Bob, to my name, if I do it like this, right? If I just cover it like this, half of my letter is not gonna get ink. So I wanna make sure I am covering with ink right in between. You don't want it on the outside, and you don't want it on the inside. If you do it on the inside, half of your letter is not gonna come out. If you do it on the outside, you're just gonna have a line, white line, and you messed up a shirt. You have to redo it. So you want to take your time. You take the ink and you put it right to it, just like that. And you want to make sure you cover, you know, all the whole letter. So this doesn't have to be super aligned, as long as it doesn't go outside of the boundaries of this paper. Very important. It cannot go on the outside boundaries of this paper. It has to be inside the boundaries of the paper that is on the bottom. And make sure the ink does not go beyond this paper and does not go shorter of the letter. So if we were to do it this way, since the ink is all the way to the edge, you can just go right just like that and not have any issues, right? But since, you know, just because you can either flip it, but let's say you have a long one and you can't do that. You have to do it this way. So you literally just go right over it, just like that. You cover it and you're done. So what you want to do is just press it regularly for 8 seconds as you would normally would. And honestly, what you can even do, if you have another logo, if you don't want to do it twice, because let's say if I take off my logo right now, right? I have ink and I have to move my whole shirt up and make sure I don't touch it because the ink is gonna get imprinted onto the heat press. So you can just literally move it up, you put your logo, you put your roster, or you can take it off and shift it all the way. But I like to, if it's just a logo, I like to print, you can even print it twice, so whatever. You put a logo, you do it there, or you can just take it off right away. So it was 8 seconds since we did it the first time, and you just take it off completely, right? Here's Bob. And so you got name Bob on here, and that's it. And this whole sheet, you just throw it away. So you got some ink that's attached to it, which doesn't matter anymore because it got only the letters that we needed got printed onto the shirt. So this is the process. It's a little bit lengthy, but as you start doing it one after another, you get better and better and better. And the last thing you want to do is when you come over here, is you take this spatula or whatever it's called, a knife, and what you want to do is you grab your sheet kind of tight, and you want to make this like a little slide under an angle, and you grab it with your hand and you put a lot of pressure right here. So you put pressure and you just slide it right down. So with pressure, you just go right down, and all your letters come off. Okay, obviously you can just do it letter by letter, but instead of this saves so much more time. You can literally take it off letter by letter. But with this, if you have a long name, you go 1, 2, and all the names are on. You trash this out, and then you start with a new customer. Again, you go back to canvas. Okay, you just had your sheet. You go back to canvas over here. You double tap on the name. You erase it. Since it's not, I already see it's not in lowercase, so you make sure it goes back to lowercase. You flip it to your customer, and you take care of the next customer. That's it. That's the whole process. Thank you guys for watching. Enjoy it.